Are you seriously suggesting we just hack it? Lina's voice cut through the dim hum of the command room, sharp, incredulous. Her eyes, amber in the glow of dozens of monitors, reflected both fear and fascination. Exactly that, said Jarek, leaning back in his chair with a crooked grin. His fingers danced over the console, the soft clatter echoing like distant gunfire. Because if we don't, someone else is going to turn that satellite against us. And I'm not about to let our planet become a cosmic punching bag. Outside the window, the Earth rotated silently, a swirl of blues and greens under a thin veil of atmosphere. Yet in that serene spin lay danger, an invisible hand poised to strike billions of miles away. The hum of satellites orbiting above was almost musical, if you ignored the tension clawing at every human heart in the room. Lina pressed a hand to her temple, fighting against the swell of panic. We don't even know what we're dealing with. These signals, they're not human. They're not even... She trailed off, unable to finish the thought, the words lost to the weight of the unknown. Jarek smirked, that swaggered confidence that Lina secretly envied. They're aliens, yep, officially, but aliens aren't invincible. They're smart, sure, but they're predictable in ways that humans aren't. His eyes gleamed, catching the reflection of the first cryptic message flickering across the screen. The screen pulsed, sending a cascade of colors into the dim room. It was a language, yes, but not one made of words. More like vibrations, like music tuned to a frequency only machines could hum. Lina shivered. It's communicating. It knows we're watching. Jarek leaned forward, whispering almost conspiratorially, and that's why we're going to reply. On our terms. Suddenly, the room's alarms blared. Red lights spun across the walls. Every monitor screamed with new warnings. The satellite they'd hacked, or had stumbled upon more accurately, was moving. Faster than physics seemed to allow. Lina felt the rush of adrenaline slam against her ribs. What's happening? She shouted, nearly tripping over a cable. Jarek didn't answer immediately. His hands moved with unerring precision, fingers flying, eyes flicking from one readout to another. It's curious, or angry, or both. Either way, it's counting down. We have 15 minutes before we find out which. The thought hit Lina like a cold wave. 15 minutes. A fraction of time, yet heavy enough to crush hope. Every second ticked louder than the last. Outside, the stars blinked silently, indifferent yet somehow complicit. A voice came from the comm unit, fractured but clear. Humans. You interfere. Consequences. Severe. The words weren't spoken but felt, like pressure on her skull, vibrations sinking to her heartbeat. Lina stumbled back. Did it just talk? Jarek chuckled, low and defiant. Talk, maybe threaten? Definitely. But humans, we don't back down ever. He hit a key, sending a small burst of data upward. The satellite's lights flickered in response, a staccato dance of unknown intent. Lina's gaze met his. Jarek, what if we've gone too far? He shrugged, leaning against the console, that same calm swagger masking the storm he felt inside. Then we adapt. Humans always do. And maybe, just maybe, we make them see that we're not just prey in this galaxy. A sudden vibration pulsed through the room. The satellite's image on the screen warped, twisted into impossible angles. Shapes formed, triangles within triangles, like the echo of some alien geometry. Lina felt her stomach drop. This isn't just about us. They're testing something. Or warning us. Or worse. The countdown clock blinked with urgent red digits. 9 minutes. 8. Lina's heart slammed against her ribs like a drumbeat in a war song. Outside, the sky remained still. Earth spun quietly. Yet in that calm, every human instinct screamed that something unimaginable was coming. Jarek pressed a hand to the console. Listen, Lina. We either make them respect us, or we don't get to see the sunrise tomorrow. You in? She swallowed hard, nodding. Her fear twisted into resolve. I'm in. Let's show them. Humans don't follow rules. We make them. The satellite pulsed again, its signals sliced through space like light cutting through darkness. Lina realized with a shiver that this wasn't just a hack. It was the opening move of a war they hadn't even known existed. And humanity had just whispered back. The red digits hit 0. Silence fell. A soundless tension stretched across the cosmos, and then something moved. The satellite hung in space like a jewel turned predator. Its shape was impossible. Angles that shouldn't exist. surfaces that reflected nothing yet seemed to swallow light whole. Lina pressed her palm to the console, trying to steady her pulse. Jarek was already typing, his fingers moving faster than thought. "Look at this," he said, voice low but steady. "It's rearranging its orbit. And wait, there." On one monitor, a shadow detached from the main satellite, a smaller craft shaped like a serrated arrow glinting against the void. "They're sending a scout." Lina leaned closer. "A scout? Are they attacking us?" Jarek shrugged, but his jaw tightened. Maybe, or maybe it's curious. Aliens always send their eyes first. Humans, though, we don't wait. We act. He tapped a sequence into the keyboard. A map of the solar system appeared, dotted with blips representing Earth's orbiting satellites. One by one, he highlighted them. "If this thing wants to play, we'll make it play our game." A sudden vibration ran through the room. Lina jumped back, her breath catching. "They're inside our networks. The scout just pinged our comms." Jarek didn't flinch. "Good. Means they want to communicate. Or test us. Either way. Humans speak one language, action." He grinned, almost gleeful. "Let's give them a sentence." He hit a key. The console hummed, sending a pulse of encrypted data skyward. The satellite responded instantly. Lina's eyes widened. "It's copying us. Learning us." Jarek leaned back, shrugging with that same effortless confidence. "Alien intelligence is nothing like ours, Lina. Fast, yes. Clever, yes. But not human. We adapt, we improvise. They can't predict us completely." The scout darted closer, weaving through the black like liquid metal. On the main screen, it split into multiple forms, creating an eerie dance. "It's multiplying," Lina whispered, the room's lights flickering. "Or cloning?" "Or testing us," Jarek corrected. "Either way, it's not enough." He tapped into the satellite's internal logs, reading signals and pulses as if listening to a song. "They don't just want to know our tech. They want to know our minds," Lina swallowed. "Do you think it can understand us? Feel fear?" Jarek's grin faded, replaced with a flash of respect for the entity they faced. "Maybe, but we don't show fear. Humans have a certain flair for defiance. Aliens underestimate that always." The lights pulsed again. This time it wasn't the console, it was the room itself. The walls vibrated with the satellite's signal. Lina felt her chest tighten. "It's probing us. Not physically, mentally." Jarek nodded. "Exactly. And humans. We don't bend that easily." He tapped the screen, sending another coded burst. The satellite flickered, pulsing in response, and for a moment the room was filled with a strange, almost musical resonance. Lina realized with a shiver it was trying to speak. The voice wasn't words. Not really. It was a flood of thought, pressure, and images compressed into vibration. Lina saw flashes of alien cities, spinning towers, and creatures moving in perfect geometric harmony. And then a weapon, or what looked like one, aimed at Earth. Her stomach dropped. "They're ready to attack. Why?" Jarek's hands hovered over the keyboard, calm, collected, yet his eyes were sharp. "Because we exist. That's always enough reason. But we're not going down quietly. We're human. We fight, we trick, we survive, and that scares them more than lasers or bombs." Another vibration slammed into her chest, this one sharper, harsher. The countdown had returned, though the digits were nowhere to be seen. Lina's mind raced. Time was moving differently here, stretched by the satellite's manipulation of gravity or signals. "Jarek," she whispered, voice trembling. "If they can control time like that, if they can manipulate reality itself, can we really stop them?" He looked at her, a mix of challenge and certainty. "Stop them? Maybe not. Outsmart them? Definitely. Humans have one advantage, unpredictability. They calculate. We improvise. And right now improvisation is our weapon." The scout shot closer again. Its surfaces rippled, showing hints of alien language that Lina couldn't read. But something flickered in her mind, a rhythm, a pattern. "They're communicating through emotion," she said, eyes widening. "Fear, excitement, curiosity. It's all coded into their movement," Jarek smirked. "And that's exactly why humans win. We feel it all and we use it. Ready to show them what that means?" Lina nodded, heart pounding. Outside, Earth turned silently. Stars blinked, and in that quiet, the war of wits had begun. A final vibration slammed the room, shaking lights, monitors, and nerves. The scout split again, this time forming a massive geometric formation directly above the planet. Lina's eyes went wide. "It's preparing. They're about to act." Jarek's grin returned, sharper, fearless. Then it's time. Humanity doesn't wait for the fight to come. We go to it. The satellite pulsed, a warning or a challenge. Lina took a deep breath, feeling every nerve alive, every instinct screaming. And for the first time, she truly understood. This was no ordinary battle. This was a test of everything humans had ever been, and humanity was about to answer. The monitors blinked, a riot of color and sound as the alien scout hovered above Earth. Lina's hands shook slightly, but Jarek's calm swagger filled the room like a shield. "They're testing our reaction speed," he said, voice low, almost amused. "Aliens love precision, humans. We love chaos." Lina swallowed hard, her mind racing. Chaos doesn't win wars. Jarek's grin was sharp, cocky. Sometimes it does, especially when the enemy can't predict it. He pressed a sequence into the console, sending a cascade of false telemetry upward. The scout wavered as if startled. "See? Confusion is a weapon." Outside, the satellite's thrusters flared in response, small arcs of light bending around the planet. It wasn't just a machine, it moved like a living thing, thinking, observing, calculating. Lina's chest tightened. "They're learning faster than we can adapt. Then we adapt faster." Jarek leaned forward, eyes glued to the screen. "Humans don't have the fastest reflexes, but we have the best instincts. And instincts beat algorithms. Most of the time." A sudden vibration shook the room. Lina nearly fell back. The signal had changed. It was sharper, more urgent. Images of destruction flashed in her mind. Cities she knew, oceans rising, satellites exploding. Her stomach knotted. "They're threatening us directly." Jarek didn't flinch. "Good, that means we're important. That means they respect us, in a very twisted way." He tapped another key, sending a burst of interference toward the scout. Its movement stuttered for a fraction of a second. And every fraction counts. Lina noticed something then, a pattern hidden in the chaos. The scout wasn't just moving randomly, it was testing emotions, probing fear and curiosity simultaneously. She leaned closer. "They're predicting us. Trying to understand how we think." Jarek's eyes gleamed. "Exactly. And that's when we hit back with something they can't calculate. Creativity." He activated a secondary console. A holographic map of Earth's orbital network sprang to life. Lina gasped. "You can't, that's 100 satellites, Jarek. You're redirecting them. Alone? Alone? Nope," Jarek smirked. "We've got an entire human race backing us up. Every hacker, every engineer, every stubborn mind refusing to be controlled, they're part of this. And trust me, humans love to fight when the odds are impossible." The scout reacted immediately, splitting into multiple smaller forms, weaving through the network Lina's mind could barely comprehend. "They're countering," she whispered. "It's adapting faster than I can track, and that's fine." Jarek's tone was sharp, confident. "Because humans don't stop when things get impossible. We improvise." He pressed another key. The satellites blinked in perfect unison, creating a web of interference that forced the scout to halt. For the first time it hesitated. Lina felt a flicker of triumph. We made it." Pause. Jarek's grin widened. "Humans always find a way. Fear, pressure, danger, it just sharpens us." Suddenly a jolt ran through the room. The scout emitted a pulse, psychic, mechanical, alien. Lina felt it like ice sliding along her spine. "It's probing us deeper this time. Our minds." Jarek's hand hovered over the console. "Let it probe. We'll show it human resilience. Humans have one weapon no alien algorithm can predict: emotion." Images of Earth flashed through the room. Children laughing, storms raging, cities glowing at night. Lina realized with a shiver that the satellite was feeding on their reactions, trying to map instinct, predict panic. But instead of fear, she focused on determination, hope, defiance. Her heartbeat quickened, not from terror but from resolve. The scout's lights flickered, almost as if it hesitated in response. Lina's lips pressed into a thin line. "It's reacting. It doesn't expect this." "Of course not," Jarek said, leaning back smug. "We're unpredictable, messy, emotional, and that's why humans survive where logic alone fails." A warning pulse echoed across the room, faint but ominous. Another countdown appeared, not on a screen, but felt inside their minds, a thrum of potential devastation. Lina's stomach dropped. Another attack. Or a test. Jarek's fingers danced over the keyboard, eyes blazing. "Both, probably." But either way, we're ready. Humans fight back, Lina, always. That's who we are. And they're about to learn it the hard way. Outside, stars twinkled, Earth spinning silently beneath the alien eyes. And somewhere in the void, a machine thought, calculated, and hesitated, because for the first time it couldn't predict humanity. The room shook. Not from alarms, not from machinery, but from a pulse that felt like it originated in the stars themselves. Lina clutched the edge of the console, staring at the alien scout suspended above Earth, now a lattice of glowing facets, like a jewel shattered and rearranged mid-air. They've scaled up, she whispered, barely audible. They're not just probing us anymore. They're preparing to strike. Jarek didn't look worried. Not even close. His fingers danced across the keyboard with effortless confidence, sending bursts of data that Lina couldn't hope to follow. Good, let them try. Humans don't flinch. We adapt, we improvise, and we always fight. A new monitor flickered to life. A live feed from the edge of the atmosphere showed streaks of light. Alien drones diving into orbit, cutting through debris like predators through mist. Lina's chest tightened. They're targeting satellites, communication grids, navigation systems. If they hit all of them, Earth goes blind. And that's exactly why we're about to make them regret it. Jarek leaned back, smug, his usual swagger sharpened by adrenaline. Humans don't wait for survival, we grab it. And then we make it dance. Lina's stomach churned. Dance? Metaphorically. He smirked. But also, literally. He tapped a sequence. One by one, Earth's defense satellites flickered, changing orbits, spinning like a choreographed ballet. The alien scout wavered, uncertainty flickering across its impossible surfaces. Do you think that will work? Lina asked, doubt creeping into her voice. Work? Jarek's grin was fierce, almost feral. It doesn't have to work perfectly. It just has to make them hesitate. Aliens hate hesitation, humans. We thrive on it. Outside, the first real strike came. A satellite burst into flame, debris scattering across orbit. Lina froze, the room vibrating with the echo of destruction. Her hands gripped the console like it could anchor her to sanity. They're killing our satellites, she said, voice trembling. This is real. This isn't a test anymore. Jarek's fingers didn't stop moving. Exactly. And that means it's time to escalate. He hit another key. Streams of data, humans, digital fingerprints, codes, algorithms, viruses, shot into the scout's network. It pulsed, shimmered, and for a moment Lina swore she saw hesitation, a flicker of uncertainty in an intelligence that had seemed flawless. They're reacting, she whispered. It's scared? Jarek laughed softly, a sound edged with both relief and defiance. No, Lina, not scared, confused. Aliens calculate certainty. Humans are chaos, and chaos terrifies them. Suddenly, the scout emitted a pulse of pure energy, a wave of light that slammed into the orbital network. Lina stumbled backward. Her body pressed against the console as the room lights flickered violently. Her stomach dropped. It's fighting back, harder, smarter, faster. Then we fight harder. Jarek's voice was calm, but his eyes were fire. Humans don't stop when it's impossible. We invent, we adapt, and we survive. He activated a secondary console. Maps of satellites, orbital debris, even Earth's own magnetic field shifted in holographic displays. We're going to bait it. His voice was quiet now, intense. We'll make it think it's winning. Then, surprise. The countdown appeared again. Not on a monitor, but inside Lina's mind, pounding in rhythm with her pulse. 5 minutes. 4. 3. Every tick was an earthquake of tension, the looming threat pressing down on her chest. Jarek's fingers paused over a key. He looked at her, the first flicker of uncertainty in his usual confidence. Ready? Lina nodded, swallowing hard. Ready. Let's show them what humans are made of. The pulse of alien energy hit one of Earth's orbital satellites. It wobbled violently, sparks flying, but didn't break. Lina's eyes widened. It's resisting. The attack, it's still holding. Jarek's grin returned, sharper than ever. That's good. Because it means we're alive. And when humans are alive, we fight back harder. Outside, the scout twisted, lights flickering like a living entity in pain or indecision. Lina realized with a shiver that the satellite wasn't just a machine. It was thinking, learning, and somehow feeling the human's defiance. Jarek slammed his palm down on the console, sending a burst of interference straight into the Scout. It quivered, shivered, and then split, dozens of smaller forms spinning like a storm above the planet. Lina's breath caught. "They're dividing," she said, fear and awe mingling in her voice. "More of them, everywhere." "And that," Jarek said calmly, almost proudly, "is when humans show what we really are." He leaned in close, voice low, intense. "We survive. We adapt, we dominate. We make sure that nothing, not even a perfect alien war machine, gets to tell us what's possible." The countdown inside Lina's head hit 0. Silence stretched across the cosmos, and in that stillness a single undeniable truth echoed through her mind. Humanity had taken the first real step into a war that no one, not even the aliens, could have predicted, and Earth was ready to fight back. The Scout swarm had formed a storm above Earth, spinning like silver shards, each one pulsing with alien intelligence. Lina's hands hovered over the console, her mind racing, heart hammering. "There's too many of them. We can't possibly control all of this." Jarek's eyes were sharp, focused and dangerous in their intensity. "Yes, we can. Not control it, Lina. Confuse it. Trick it. Humans are the masters of improvisation." He pressed a key. A holographic grid of orbital satellites blinked, spinning, shifting, creating patterns meant to lure the Scout. Lina's eyes widened. "You're baiting them?" "Exactly." Jarek leaned back, confidence radiating like fire. "We make them think they have the upper hand. Then we hit them where it hurts most, their logic." The Scout pulse flashed in response. It had learned they were not just human opponents. They were variables. Unknown variables. Lina realized then what Jarek meant. The alien intelligence had never faced this before. Unpredictable instinct paired with audacity. "Jarek, it's learning. Fast." She swallowed hard. "If it adapts quicker than we can, we're finished." Jarek's grin was a weapon. "Then we adapt faster. Humans thrive on pressure. And make no mistake, this pressure, it's fuel." A sudden vibration pulsed through the room, sharp and precise. Lina staggered slightly. Images flooded her mind. Entire cities, their defenses, their infrastructure, all flashing like holograms. They're probing deeper. Not just satellites, they're mapping Earth itself. And that's why we escalate. Jarek tapped another key. The satellites flickered, forming a pattern Lina had never seen before. "They think they're observing us. They're wrong. We're observing them, and learning what scares them." The Scout's lights flickered violently, splitting and merging like liquid metal faster than Lina's eyes could follow. It had never encountered humans like this. Every move was calculated to confuse, mislead, and challenge its predictions. "They're hesitating," Lina whispered, awe mixed with fear. "It doesn't know what we'll do next." "Exactly." Jarek leaned closer, whispering as if sharing a secret with the universe. "And that hesitation, that tiny crack in certainty, is where humans strike." He pressed another key. One of Earth's satellites fired a precise electronic pulse invisible to the naked eye into the swarm. A ripple ran through the alien Scout forms. They paused, split, reformed, and for the first time one of them blinked irregularly, a sign of error. Lina's eyes widened. We did it." "We made it hesitate," Jarek smirked. "And humans don't waste hesitation. We exploit it." He hit a second key, sending a second wave of interference. The Scout forms quivered like caught fish in a net, lights flickering erratically. Then a pulse unlike any before slammed into the room. Lina felt it like a hammer on her chest. Images of Earth on fire, waves crashing over cities, satellites falling like rain. Her mind reeled. She gasped, "It's warning us, or threatening us, or testing us?" Jarek's eyes were cold fire. "All of the above. And humans, we don't wait for instructions. We act, always. Watch." He activated the final sequence. The holographic satellites blinked, forming a net of precision around the swarm. Each alien drone became trapped in a loop of interference, flickering between existence and disruption. The Scout pulsed violently as if screaming without sound, then stilled. Lina let out a shaky breath. It froze. Jarek's grin returned, sharp and victorious. Not just froze, confused, calculating, recalculating, and just that is a human victory. But the victory was fragile. The Scout pulsed once more, smaller, faster, sharper. It wasn't defeated. It was learning from the human's improvisation, memorizing every trick, every feint. Lina felt a chill. It's recording us, learning from us. Preparing for next time. Jarek's hands hovered over the keys. Let it learn. We'll do the same. Humans don't just fight, we evolve. And every battle teaches us how to survive the next. Outside, the stars glittered, indifferent. Earth spun beneath them, fragile, alive. And somewhere in the void, the alien swarm pulsed, learning, waiting, calculating, and for the first time, uncertain. Lina looked at Jarek. Do you think we just started a war we can't finish? He smiled, that reckless, unstoppable smile. Maybe, but humans never fight to finish. We fight to survive. And right now, survival is our masterpiece. The room fell silent, save for the hum of machines and the echo of the alien swarm's confused pulses. Lina realized something fundamental. Humanity hadn't just hacked a satellite. They had reminded the cosmos that survival wasn't a matter of perfection or power. It was a matter of defiance, and Earth would not be easy to conquer. The pulse hit like a hammer to Lina's chest. The room trembled, lights flickering violently, monitors sparking. She stumbled, catching herself on the console. Jarek, it's escalating. It's attacking harder than before. Jarek's eyes were steel. Of course it is. We made it hesitate. That's all it understands, a challenge. And humans, we love a challenge. Outside the window, the alien scout swarm had multiplied, spinning like a storm of silver knives. Their lights flickered in patterns too fast for the eye to follow. Lina realized with a jolt of fear that the swarm was learning at exponential speed. Every feint, every trick they used, it recorded. They're evolving, she said, voice tight, faster than anything we've seen. If we don't, Jarek cut her off, then we don't survive. That's what it means. But listen, humans aren't just survivors. We're improvisers. And improvisers don't quit. He slammed his palm down, sending a burst of electromagnetic interference into the swarm. A few drones wobbled, then corrected. Lina's stomach sank. Half the attack had been thwarted, half had already adapted. They're predicting us. Each move we make, they're ready for the next. Then we move where they can't predict, Jarek said, voice low, dangerous. Humans have one thing aliens can't calculate: instinct. The countdown began again, not on a screen, not in numbers, but in a pressure inside her chest, a thrum in her skull that measured the approach of catastrophe. 8 minutes. 7. Lina's pulse raced. Jarek hit a sequence that made the satellites blink in chaotic patterns, spinning like dancers caught in a storm. We're going to draw them in. Make them chase a phantom. Humans fight best in confusion. The swarm twisted, lights pulsing violently like lightning trapped in silver strands. They were faster now, sharper, reacting before humans even pressed a key. Lina's mind reeled. It's anticipating us before we act. How? Jarek's grin was feral, unshakable. Because it's learning. And learning is dangerous. Until it meets humanity. Instinct, chaos, audacity, that's our advantage. Suddenly, a massive pulse slammed into the room. The console flashed red. Lina felt the pressure in her chest spike. Images of Earth, cities, oceans, landmarks flickered and warped. It's attacking us. Our networks, it's targeting everything. Good. Jarek's tone was calm, almost gleeful. Then it will see what humans do when cornered. He hit another key. Data burst from Earth's satellites, a blinding wave of code that infiltrated the swarm. The alien drones faltered, splitting and spinning. Unsure which signal was real and which was a trap. Lina felt a pulse of triumph, then fear. This was temporary. They couldn't hold the swarm forever. They're adapting faster, she said, breath trembling. We can't keep up. Then we innovate. Jarek's eyes burned with confidence. Humans don't just fight. We improvise. We break the rules of the game. And when the odds are impossible, that's when we shine. He initiated the final sequence, a coordinated, unpredictable pattern that combined Earth satellites, orbital debris, and even solar radiation sensors into a makeshift weapon, chaotic, elegant, and utterly human. The swarm faltered. Some drones collided, spinning out of orbit. Others blinked uncertainly, flickering as if caught between thought and error. Lina's breath caught. It's hesitating. They're confused. They don't know what's real. Jarek leaned back, fingers flying over the keys. And that hesitation, that's our opening. But then a pulse unlike any before slammed the room again. Lina felt it in her bones, a sensation like pressure, pain, and warning all at once. Her stomach lurched. It's striking back, harder than ever. If it hits again, Jarek's hand hovered over a key. Then we survive. Humans never give up. That's what it doesn't understand. Logic computation. It can't predict heart, courage, fear turned into defiance. The alien swarm split again, forming a massive lattice around Earth, a cage of silver and light. Lina's mind raced. They're surrounding us. They could destroy everything in minutes. And yet, Jarek said softly, almost to himself, we're still here. Still human. And humans, we fight back. We adapt, we dominate. And sometimes, he smirked, a dangerous glint in his eyes. Sometimes we win against the impossible. The room pulsed with tension. The countdown throbbed inside Lina's head. Time was slipping, the alien swarm pressing, learning, evolving. And humanity stood at the edge, improvising, resisting, daring to defy a civilization that had underestimated the raw, chaotic, unstoppable force of human instinct. For the first time, Lina realized survival wasn't just about defense. It was about outthinking, outfeeling, outlasting a mind that had never encountered a species willing to fight with audacity, courage, and reckless brilliance. And humanity wasn't done yet. The alien swarm loomed above Earth like a storm of silver knives. Lina's hands hovered over the console, trembling, heart pounding. The countdown had returned, not in digits, but in a pressure she could feel in every nerve. A pulse that promised annihilation if she and Jarek failed. They're going to strike, she whispered, voice tight. If we don't stop them, everything. Jarek's grin was calm, unshakable, dangerous. Then we make them stop us first. Humans don't wait for survival. We grab it, he pressed a sequence. The satellites blinked in chaotic patterns, forming unpredictable vectors and signals. The swarm faltered, hesitated, their precise movements disrupted by the human improvisation. Lina's breath caught. It's working. For now. Jarek's eyes gleamed with audacity. Now, Lina, we finish this our way. A sudden pulse slammed the room, throwing them off balance. The alien swarm split into smaller units, darting through the orbital web like liquid silver. Lina felt a chill. They were learning, adapting, predicting. They're evolving faster than we can react. Then we do what humans do best, Jarek said, voice low, confident, almost feral. We fight unpredictably, instinctively, and we make them doubt everything. He hit a final key. The satellites flared, emitting a web of electromagnetic pulses that wove together like an invisible net, entangling the alien drones. For the first time, the swarm flickered in confusion, some forms colliding, others pausing mid-orbit. Lina felt a flicker of hope. They're hesitating, she whispered. It's breaking them. Jarek leaned closer, eyes sharp, calculating. Not breaking, learning. But learning from chaos is slower than learning from logic. And humans, we live in chaos. Every breath we take, every choice, every instinct, it's unpredictable. That's our advantage. The swarm pulsed violently, flashes of alien light streaking across orbit. Lina could feel the psychic weight of it. The alien mind pressing into hers, probing, testing, analyzing. Fear surged. She swallowed hard. It's attacking our minds now. It's trying to understand us from the inside out. Then we show it what it can't understand, Jarek said, calm as a predator. Courage. Audacity. Heart. He initiated the final maneuver. A series of satellite pulses, orbital debris, and digital interference perfectly timed to create a phantom war zone. The swarm attacked the illusion, colliding and splitting, trapped in a maze of signals they couldn't calculate. Lina's pulse raced. It's trapped. They're trapped. Jarek's grin widened, triumphant. Humans improvise. Humans survive. And humans dominate when the impossible comes calling. The swarm pulsed once more, sending a psychic shockwave that rattled the room. Lina staggered, pressing her hands against her temples. It's retreating, or is it regrouping? Maybe both, Jarek said. But the point is, Earth survives. Humanity survives. And sometimes, that's enough. Outside, the stars blinked in serene silence, Earth spinning quietly beneath the alien swarm. And then, slowly, the swarm broke formation, retreating toward the void of space, lights flickering uncertainly. For the first time, Lina saw hesitation in something that had seemed flawless, unyielding, unstoppable. She exhaled, her body trembling. We did it. We survived. Jarek smirked, that impossible mix of swagger and relief. Not just survived. We sent a message. Humans are not prey. Humans are chaos. Humans are unpredictable. And we fight back, always. The monitors flickered, showing fragments of alien signals, images, pulses, patterns. They were retreating, yes, but recording, learning, preparing. Lina shivered. They'll come back smarter, faster, stronger. Then we'll be ready, Jarek said, fingers resting lightly on the console. Humans always are. We don't just endure, we evolve, we adapt, and we fight until there's nothing left that can stop us. The room fell silent, the hum of satellites and machines replacing the chaos. Lina looked at Jarek, a mix of awe and exhaustion in her eyes. Do you think they understand us? Jarek's grin was calm, unstoppable. They'll try, but they'll never truly know humans. Not entirely. Because humans, we are fire in the dark, lightning in the void. We are impossible to predict, and that is our weapon. Outside, the earth turned quietly, fragile but alive. The alien swarm receded into the black, leaving a warning unspoken but understood. Humans were dangerous, reckless, and unbreakable. And humanity had just claimed its first victory, not through superior weapons, not through perfect algorithms, but through audacity, heart, and the relentless spirit of a species that refused to be controlled. Lina exhaled, staring at the stars. We did it, we showed them. Jarek leaned back, smirk still in place, eyes on the spinning planet. No, Lina, we didn't just show them. We reminded the universe what it means to face humanity. And for the first time that night, the room felt lighter. The storm had passed. But the echoes of human defiance would ripple across the stars, a message as clear as it was unstoppable. Humans fight. Humans survive. And humans always rise.